I was looking and I turned in and there was a little ditch there and I wasn't looking where I was going. So yeah, my mistake.
More Mud, Sweat and Gears from the Toyota 1000 Desert Race coming up.
Brought to you in association with Vodacom.
Welcome back to Mud, Sweat and Gears and the Toyota 1000 Desert Race. Still on a charge after the service halt were overall and production vehicle leaders Neil Woolrich and Kenny Scholthammer in the Mitsubishi Pajero. Consolidation was now the name of the game for the pair as they headed for the overnight halt at Molopolole. Also looking to consolidate with special vehicle leaders Greg Harvey and Boy Stone in the Queen Motorspares Castrol Jimco. The route took in some remote areas, but crowd support at isolated farms was enthusiastic, with locals entering into the spirit of the desert race. With the overnight halt looming, Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser pair Oppie Reiniger and Robin Houghton were pushing hard, with the pair locked in battle with the Woolrich Scholthammer Pajero and the Land Cruiser of Cliff Vliegel and Johan Smalberger. Also on a late charge with a spectacular Mark Corbett and Juan Moore, while down in the Class D, matters were hotting up. Pete Haasbroek and Christo Bosch were going well in the Toyota Land Cruiser, but were being chased by the father and son pairing of Schumi and Karel van Vuren in another Land Cruiser, and the slightly battered Mitsubishi Colt of Nars LaRue and Henny Verstegen. Right on their heels was Class B leader Giel Nel, who was still going like a train in the single-seater Sandmaster. While that battle raged, Jean-Pierre Joubert and Errol Hodgson were steaming along at the head of the Class E field. Out of the saddle and bombing along at high speed at the head of the quad field was Brendan Badenhorst from the CJ Yamaha. The quads also show a fair turn of speed on the quicker sections of a race route, and it takes huge dollops of skill and concentration to stay aboard a quad through Toyota desert race terrain. Badenhorst was locked in battle with Mark Breckel and had about a minute to spare over the Brasco refrigeration Yamaha. In third place in the quads was Paul Chomser on the Answer FMF Yamaha, who was around 4 minutes adrift of Breckel. A further 2 minutes off the pace was Jacques Struwweg on another Answer FMF Yamaha, with the trademarked flag on the back of the quad still flying high. With pre-race favourite Alfie Cox out of the running after a crash, Darrell Curtis led the bike category overall. The AGA LG Castrol KTM rider was 6 minutes ahead of Errol Dalton on the factory Honda. Chasing after Dalton with around 3 minutes to make up was Rian van Niekerk on a second AGA LG Castrol KTM. Van Niekerk was out of the saddle on quicker sections and pushing for all his worth in an effort to cut into the deficit and close in on Dalton at the overnight halt. In the 250 category, Honda rider Jade Goodseat was now running second to Elmer Simons from the AGA LG Castrol KTM camp, with the impressive Barry Creel into the top 10 and firmly in charge of the 200 class on the Adventure Sports KTM run by Alfie Cox. The Escort rider has this season had a huge impact on the off-road and enduro scene and has proved to be virtually unbeatable in the 200 class. Creel was comfortably ahead of the second-place man in the 200 class, with the gap between him and Wayne Farmer a healthy 4 minutes. At the overnight halt, maintenance work was being carried out on the Woolrich Scholthammer Mitsubishi Pajero, with the overall and production vehicle leaders happy with their day's work.
We battled a bit this morning with the marking. I don't think any fault with the marking, but we were a bit mixed up with the green of the no-goes, and we lost a bit of time, and the two Toyotas got past us. But once we got to the riverbed, we caught up to them, got past them again, and we haven't seen anybody all day. We had a fantastic run.
It was also a good day for special vehicle leaders Greg Harvey and Boy Stone, who had some tactical decisions to mull over before the start of day 2.
Well, tomorrow we're just going to go out there and try and ride and try and conserve the car and at the same time, you know, work out. Obviously there'll be a batch of guys chasing us, so we can't go too slowly, but we don't want to go over the top and break the car in the last sector of the race.
Overall results at the overnight halt, with some interesting situations brewing in both the production and special vehicle categories. Second in the quad category at the overnight halt was a good result for Mark Breckel, who battled a little on the second loop on day 1.
The first loop was nice. It was relaxing. The second loop was terrible. It was rutty, it was soft sand, and it took it out of my body. Hopefully tomorrow I'll be more relaxed.
Quad category leader Brendan Badenhorst and Mark Breckel had comfortable cushions at the overnight halt, and those doing the chasing had some work ahead of them on day 2.
After the first refuel, I got just behind the quad, and I never saw a hole in the road, and hit the hole, and not a big crash, and as I fell down I felt my collarbone. I don't think it's broken, but there's something scratching inside, and there's just no ways I could carry on for the rest of the race.
With Alfie Cox reduced to the role of spectator, Daryl Curtis had taken full control of the motorcycle category. With a healthy overnight lead, the AGL LG Cashel KTM rider was relaxed and confident.
I'm very comfortable on the bike we chose to ride today. Normally I'm on the 300 in the Nationals, and we decided to run with a 380 motor, which has got quite a lot more power, and we were a little bit worried about the gearing, but we seem to have got it perfect because you know, it pulls, it gets to 5th gear quickly, and it stays there, and it's very quick. I think today everything was perfect.
Daryl Curtis led the 500 class from Errol Dalton, with Elmer Simons and Jade Goodsey top of the 250 class leaderboard. Out in front of the 200 class, Barry Creel had a 4-minute lead on Wayne Farmer. And that wraps up day 1 coverage of the Toyota 1000 Desert Race.